All right. Looks like we are live. I certainly hope we are. This is an unscheduled, just kind of a spur of the moment, have fun, surprise live stream. Here we are. Okay. Saying excellent condition, saying everything is okay. Hopefully I can get a audio video check from somebody in there. And while I wait for that, I will say thank you to a few new members. Now, these just popped up. There might have been more that have come up since the last stream, but Mike Jodway, Stephen P2003, and Cherry Lennox. Audio and video is good. Thank you, Candy. Welcome to the team. 3 new members, and I don't know when they signed up. YouTube does not do a good job notifying us of that. So just something to do for fun today, something to hang out. We can talk and we can have all kinds of fun. There's going to be a lot of people that are probably going to be upset with me because I have set the chat to channel members only. That doesn't mean only channel members can be here. We can have as many people as they want to show up here. Who knows how many people are going to show up in the middle of the day on a Wednesday? It is Wednesday, right? I think it is. But only the members are going to actually be able to put something in the chat. I got to give my members perks, right? I mean, it's one of those things that I decided to do today. Hopefully that doesn't make too many people upset. So I want to talk about a few things while we get things going here. And after that, I will go to the chat and I will get whatever we're going to talk about from the chat, which is always a very scary thing for me to do. But I want to talk about my current situation here. I don't know how much everyone is aware of what my full-time job is or what my other job is other than YouTube. But I go to people's houses and I fix furniture. That's what I do to make the bulk of my money. And I work for myself. I'm a contractor. I decide whether or not I work. And of course, Lisa and I have been talking a lot over the last few weeks, month or so. She's actually even been kind of obsessive about it. And we've been talking all about what are we going to do? Am I going to keep going to work? Because not only am I putting myself at risk, but also I'm running the risk of bringing whatever that is here to the family. So we've been talking about it. And we actually made the decision on Monday that I was going to go ahead and take off for the next 3 weeks. This week, next week, and the week after that. I go back to work as of now, on the 20th. Now, I'm not saying that to get attention. I'm not saying that to have anybody feel bad for me. A lot of you that are watching this right now are probably in the exact same situation. The reason why I'm talking about it is because I have you to thank for all of this. I know it sounds sappy. I know it's, it is what it is, but it's absolutely true. If it were not for this YouTube channel, I would not have the option of being able to make the decision to stay home because it is ultimately up to me. I mean, but the thing is, if I don't work, I don't get paid. I'm not some kind of salaried employee or anything like that. I basically either work or I don't get paid. And because of this YouTube channel, because of every single one of you, whether you are channel members, super chatter like the Unfiltered Aquarist with the TP Fund, and Cody Metz, I still haven't figured that out. You can super chat if you aren't a member. That's true. But if you're going to do that, you might as well become a member. It's cheaper and you get a whole month worth of extra content. So, but it is a good point. That's not why I do it at all. It's done because I want to give my members a little bit of a perk. But if it were not for everyone, the members, the super chatters, the people who subscribe, people who like videos, people who comment on videos, or people that just watch videos and never participate in anything else but that, it is all of those people that allow me to be able to make the decision that I did, and Lisa did. And the weird thing about it is I was all set to go to work on Monday. In fact, I went out and I got in my van and I turned on the ignition and I was ready to head out to go to the first person's house. And I listened to a sports talk radio station every day from 10 to 2. That particular day was a very light day for me. So I was actually leaving the house late. I wasn't leaving the house till like 10:30 in the morning. And when I get in there, the very first thing I hear from the sports talk radio show that I listen to is the state of Maryland is on official lockdown. And they start talking about $2,500 fines and all of this. And I'm like, you know what? I fix furniture in people's houses. I can't imagine that I would be considered an essential employee or an essential job or anything like that. So I shut the van off. I came inside and I talked to Lisa about it. And that's when we made the decision for me to do that. And it wasn't till maybe 3 hours later, Virginia did the exact same thing. And so I said, you know what, let's just forget it. We talked about it and we said 3 weeks, 3 weeks would be enough to hopefully let things calm down. And then I can get back into the swing of things, or it might be worse by then. And who knows what happens, but I'm going to hope for the best. I'm going to hope that things start to clear out. People start to stay away from each other and we can get this thing under control so that normal people like me can go back to work. But if there was not this YouTube channel and everything that's happened over the last year and a half, it would be a non-issue. I'd be at work right now, wearing a mask, wearing gloves so that I could fix people's furniture. You have to think about it. If you're somebody that's ill, you're going to be in one of two places, either your bed or laying on your couch. And then I show up to your house to fix your couch and I'm sitting there stitching the fabric or fixing the frame underneath or something like that. And I'm doing this with all of your sickness all over it. Risky. My job is certainly not essential. So we made the decision to do that. And again, if it were not for all of you, every single one of you, I don't care what level you participate with this channel, I have you to thank for this, because if I don't work, I don't get paid. So, okay, that's enough of that. Let me get through these real quick because, wow, people are coming in. Old Fish Guy, David Millhouse, Jess Shrimp Granny, we definitely know her, Janice Lundberg, and Carolyn Sturge. Thank you so much for joining the team, becoming members. You can chat now. You can do whatever you want to do. Very, very cool. Thank you for that. I've got something exciting that I want to talk about, and then I've got something that is horrible, tragic, an event that happened to me the other day that I feel like with this new quarantine, with me being here all the time, I kind of feel like I need a little bit of therapy. So I'm gonna use all of you to provide me with that therapy. Talk about something that happened the other day that ruined my day, week, month. Not going to say ruined my life because that's a little too dramatic, but I want to talk about something exciting first. I have been working on and off for the last 3 days since I've been here on building the racks for Lisa's tanks down here in the new fish room. I really want to make the video for this titled Lisa Has a Nice Rack. I want to do that, but I'm just afraid people might get the wrong idea by that. That would totally be clickbaiting. It would be, but I just think it would be funny to do that. But anyway, I don't want to reveal too much about it. They are done. They're actually in place. I'm looking at them right now. This is basically built exactly the way she wanted it. She had a vision in mind. She said, this is what I want to do. And so that's what I did to the best of my abilities. They're nothing extravagant. They're nothing like over the top fancy, but I'm proud of them and she likes them. So this weekend we'll start moving some tanks down here to put on those. And it's going to be neat. I don't want to reveal too much about it, but I built 2 racks. They're both 6 feet long. And basically the way it's going to be set up is there's going to be a 75-gallon tank in the middle that right now she is housing about 1 million guppies in. And then the 2 racks on either side of that. So it's going to look nice. I'm excited about getting those down there. but I don't want to reveal too much. As a matter of fact, that 75-gallon tank is going to be completely changed into something totally different that I think you all are going to be excited about. I know Lisa's excited about it. So really happy to get that done. Yesterday finished up the final touches. It started raining. I brought them in here, and my 21-year-old daughter and I painted them. So they're done. They're 100% done, sitting in place, and I can't wait to show them to you. This coming Tuesday will be the first video on that. It's not exactly going to be a tutorial on how to build these racks. I will go over some of the details as to why I built them the way I did, but it's not going to be like a woodworking 101. Here you go. This is how I did it. But I think you'll understand how I did it and why I did it the way I did. And you'll get a good look at those, and hopefully it'll give you some ideas. She got inspiration for this style of rack from the Nova Tropicals fish store that we went to who cares? It doesn't matter when we went there, but it's basically a stepped rack where you have a row of tanks. I don't know how to do this on camera, but you have a row of tanks, and then the row above it sits back so that it looks like a staircase almost. And it makes it easier to work on the bottom tanks. You know, you're not getting down underneath there and competing with the shelf that's above it. It's kind of nice. And it's going to be awesome when it's all set up. But I don't want to tell you what tanks are going to go on it or what she's going to do with those tanks. Instead, I want to save that for the video. So it's going to be exciting. Now, let me do this real quick here. We got a couple of more. This is beautiful the way this is happening here. Okay, Carol. So Gage Faria, hope I'm saying that right, with $2 super chat. Can I put peacocks in a 3-foot 65-gallon? Nice videos. I have done that. That was actually 10 years ago. I did that. And it worked. You can only do a few. I wouldn't like overpopulate the tank with peacocks if you're going to use a 65-gallon tank. I used it for breeding. So I had like 8, maybe 7 or 8 in there, a male and a bunch of females. I bred OB peacocks in there, actually. So it can be done. It's not ideal because peacocks do get to be a pretty good size. They are territorial. On a 3-foot tank, you don't have a very big footprint for them to find their own territories. So it is a little bit risky, but if you're going to buy them small and raise them up in there, you can have them in there for quite some time and then move them up to something. 6-foot tank for peacocks is a beautiful thing. So, but that tank right there, if you recall, a year and a half ago when I came back from my break, that was the first tank that I bought to set up, because all of my big tanks were actually down here, dry. I bought that tank for my office, and I had 18 peacocks in there for a while. I mean, they were in there for 7 or 8 months, and then I got the 240 running, and there we go. So that was fun, but I always like when we're talking about African cichlids, unless you're talking about some of the smaller like Pseudotropheus and stuff like that, or you're talking about shell dwellers, I like to tell people, let's put them in a 6-foot tank. It's just better for the fish. Angelfish Haven became a member. JT's Fish Diary, that's a cool name, became a member. Monday O'Reilly, I think that is hilarious title choice. I'd ask Lisa if it's okay with her though. Yeah, I mean, every time I've said that to her, she kind of laughs like she's not taking me seriously, and I don't blame her. But yeah, I mean, it would totally be clickbait, no doubt about it, but you know, it'd be funny anyway. And then the things we could do with the thumbnail on that, not going to do it. But David Millhouse with the $2. Thank you so much. Nothing attached to that, but that's it. Jose Fernandez, can't afford to become a member, but I'll buy you a 12-pack of Coke. Brother, I appreciate it very much. The $10 super chat, that is amazing. That's 2 months worth of membership. I'm just saying. There might be some confusion by some people as to how much memberships cost and all that. It's $5 a month. So that would have been 2 months right there for you. And you would have had the extra stuff. We're going to put up a video on Friday that's a behind the scenes kind of thing. That it's basically a very short kind of like, here's what 10 things looks like behind the scenes. So if you're a fan of that series, that would be a really cool thing. But if that's not your thing, then I understand. But that's the kind of stuff that we're doing, a little behind the scenes, quick peeks at stuff and things like that. So you would have gotten 2 months worth right there on that. But anyway, regardless, I understand, particularly now, everyone's situation being the way it is. I get it. We can't all start throwing money around, and I'm not asking for it. If you want to do it, that's awesome. If not, I totally understand. Gage Faria again. I am breeding 15 Mbunas and 5 peacocks in that 65. That's that's a little, that's going to be a little tight there, my friend. If they're all very small right now, I'm sure they're doing fine. But if you're breeding them and you're mixing the Mbunas and the peacocks I don't know. I don't know if I would do that. I'm considering not using this software anymore that I'm using for streaming because I keep getting this message and it's making me mad. Hopefully I'm not frozen. Hopefully you all are still seeing me and everything's good. I'm just going to keep on going as if you are. Streamlabs OBS became available for Mac yesterday or Monday, and I actually downloaded it and it was very, very overwhelming. So I don't know if I'm going to start using that for streaming, but I use Ecamm Live right now and it's working out pretty well, but it's making me really mad with this error that I keep getting. So anyway, I want to tell you a story real quick. It's not a fun one. I want to tell you a story and then we will go to the chat. So if you are chatting right now, if you're putting up anything in there, I will get to it. Don't worry. We'll let it build up a little bit so that, okay, everybody's telling me all good. Thank you. Thank you for helping my nerves there. So this is the part where I want to give myself a little bit of therapy. There are going to be people that are going to make fun of me for what I'm about to tell you. And then there are others that are going to be totally understanding and totally sympathetic, even though that's not really why I'm doing this, but it is what it is. So Sunday, was it Sunday? Yes, Sunday. I try, it doesn't always work, but I try on Sundays to completely detach myself from YouTube, from social media, and actually take a day off. One of the problems with having a job like this is that you're always working. And it's very difficult to detach from that. Even if it's family movie night, we did last Saturday, we watched Knives Out, which was a great movie. We had a lot of fun. It was amazing. It's still hard because I'm here and this is my office. And, it's hard to detach from work, but I try very hard on Sundays to completely detach. So Sunday was going to be my day of lawn maintenance. I was going to maintain my lawnmower, wash the lawnmower. I got a riding John Deere lawnmower. Oh, it's beautiful. I love it. And so I wanted to wash that off, change the oil in it, and then cut the grass. And everything's going wonderful. It's like 80 degrees outside, beautiful day, sun shining, everything's great. Go out there and I change the oil in the mower, and then I want to wash it off. Got to wash it before you cut the grass, right? So get in there, start hosing it off. My hose is on the side of my house. I parked the mower on the side of the house and went over to the hose, turned it on. I'm spraying it off, get it all cleaned off. And when I go to shut the water off, 2 baby rabbits go scurrying away from like right where I was stepping, like almost like I put my foot in their nest and they just ran off. And I see them and I'm like, oh, the cute little bunnies. Check them out, little wild bunnies. We get wild rabbits around here all the time. I have a beagle and that makes her crazy. But I look at it and I'm like, well, that's cute. These 2 little rabbits. One of them ran and went into a drain pipe, and the other, it's hard to explain, but there's a little divot on the side of my driveway, and it's a concrete driveway. There's like a hole that goes underneath the driveway. I think one of them ran under there, and then the other one went and got in this drain pipe. And I'm, oh, that's cute. But then I notice right where I was stepping, it's thick grass right there, pretty high. I mean, we haven't, my 16-year-old cut the grass last week and the trimmer didn't have any line in it. So he didn't go through and do the trimming. So it was a little high around the house. And I see the grass scurrying right where I was stepping. And so I go over there and I'm like, uh-oh, what's going on over here? I move the grass to the side, and sure enough, there is a third baby rabbit in there. And it was true. I had stepped right onto that bunny nest. And this one was not in good shape. I guess, I mean, if you think about it, I leaned in to turn the water off. So all of my weight, I weigh 200 and something, 220 pounds, I don't know, it's 225, not a small person. And all of my weight was on that foot that was actually in the bunny's nest. And that bunny was convulsing. It was not in good shape. I picked it up to see what I could do, and the rabbit ended up passing in my hands. So this was, again, some people are going to make fun of me. It was 4 days ago, so I'm okay to talk about it right now. This ruined me for the rest of the day. And it ruined me. I'm still not 100% from it. I came in the house. I told Lisa about it. She was heartbroken, told the kids about it. Everybody was devastated. One of the kids was like, you're a bunny murderer. You know, how dare you make a joke out of it? That's fine. It was rough, real rough. So I ended up, I got a couple of people in here saying bunny killer. How dare all of you? But, put it in a couple of bags, put it in a little Amazon box, and I buried it behind my shed. I did the right thing. But so that wasn't the end of it either. That's the end of all of the sad stuff. But I got that taken care of. It broke my heart. It messed me up for quite some time. And then I still needed to cut the grass. And my truck was actually parked in the backyard, because that's what we do in King George, put the truck in the backyard, no big deal. But I actually put it back there to unload all of the lumber that I used to build Lisa's racks. And I got in the truck and I drove it back around to the front of the house. And I go back to the back. Don't worry, no more bunnies died. Don't worry. But I go back to the backyard. I'm getting on the mower, and here comes Lisa like this with one of the bunnies in her hands. And as a matter of fact, let me see if I can do this. I was not planning on this, but I can probably do it. You see here? Yep. So she finds this bunny, and it turns out that, here we go. Hopefully this works. There we go. Yeah. Isn't it adorable? So she finds this bunny. And what happened was, when I got in my truck to drive it around to the front of the house, you could see the tracks in the grass where my truck was. That bunny that you see in her hands was dead center in the middle of those tracks. The tracks from my tires, a full-size Dodge Ram, drove right over top of that bunny. I didn't see it. Of course I didn't. The grass was very clumpy in areas because it's spring and all of the, whatever. There's a lot of clumps up there. And I didn't see that bunny, and drove right over top of it. So she caught it, and it didn't even run from her. I guess it was traumatized by having this giant vehicle ride right over top of it. So she picked it up, and there you see her holding it in her hands. She brought it in the house and put it in a tote. And I'm like, okay, this is where the story starts here. But the cute thing about it is, because of that, and because I knew there was one more, we were both terrified that there's all of these big clumps of grass. We're terrified that there's going to be another bunny in there, and I'm going to mow right over top of it. I've already killed one bunny today. I don't want to kill another one. So Lisa voluntarily, this is so sweet. I couldn't believe that she even did this. We have about 3/4 of an acre here. Thankfully, it's perfectly flat, but she walked the entire route when I was mowing. She was basically walking in front of me, bending down, opening up the grass, making sure that there were no small baby bunnies in there that I was going to mow over top of. And so I'm, puttering behind her in the mower, going real slow, but it was worth it to me. It took like 2 hours to do a job that would usually take maybe an hour. And, but we didn't kill any more bunnies. And we don't know where they are now. She had that bunny in the house in a tote just to make sure that it wasn't in the grass when I was cutting the grass. And then afterwards, we took it back out, put it back in its original nest. But they have both since gone. The second one actually went underneath. We have a propane gas tank for a fireplace, and it went underneath that. And we saw it there for 2 days. It was still under there, just kind of chilling out. Lisa was putting apple slices under there and stuff like that for the rabbit to eat, and it was eating it, but they're gone now. So this is King George. It could be, who knows what it was. They could be out and built a new nest somewhere. That's the hope. Or, they could be in a bad place. Who knows? But yeah, that was a heck of a day. Starting off with the brutal murder of a bunny, and then Lisa saving the day. I was going to really struggle cutting the grass without her help, because it's like I'm terrified that there's going to be another bunny. But thankfully, we were able to get through that and not kill any more rabbits that day. So I don't know where they are now, but hopefully they're alive and well. And Easter's coming up, so hopefully somebody takes good care of them. Who knows? So anyway, let's get through this real quick, and then we will go to the chat. David LL with the $5. Can I keep a common pleco and a 75-gallon? I have goldfish in the tank right now. I feel that it would... Wait a minute. It would be too small for the pleco. Any thoughts? Yes, definitely. A common pleco, yes. There are some smaller plecos, ancestris and stuff like that can do well in lower temperatures. You should still have a heater in the tank, but if you're going to keep the temperature in the low 70s, mid 70s, there are several ancestris plecos that would do well in there to help control the algae and stuff like that, which the goldfish will help with that too. But that I would stick with that, not common plecos, not in a 75. If you're going to do it for a few months, sure. They are kind of slow growers, but I would definitely, don't get me started on the plecos. Done whole videos about them. I mean, they're one of those fish that get out of control very fast. Well, they're slow growers, but you understand what I'm saying. You blink your eyes and all of a sudden you got a 1.5 foot long pleco in there. I would play it safe and put them in something bigger. Just get the ancestris. You'll be much better off. Or you could do things like autosynclus, hillstream loaches, things like that are smaller, and you're not going to have a problem with them in the 75, and they're not going to be a problem for the goldfish. Not that the common pleco would, but it would have a problem in a 75-gallon tank. Mr. F. Peed, I hope I'm saying that right, became a member. Welcome to the team. CS Productions, $5. I had African clawed frogs before. I want to get more again, but what fish can I put with them? You know what, my friend? I am not a frog guy. Not that I don't like them, but I don't keep them. And so I am unfortunately not the guy to give you your answer on that. But I did see the River Life channel in here before. That's the frog guy. I'm sure he'd be able to help you out with that. I'm sure he'd be willing to help me out to answer your question if he's still here. Who knows what that guy is up to, but he would be the one that could help you with that. I don't know anything about those frogs and what tank mates can go in there. Unfortunately, I'm sorry about that. Sherry Lennox sounds like a musician or something. I mean, I know there's Annie Lennox, but with the $10, no text attached to it at all. Thank you so much. It's either Sherry or Cherry. I don't know. Either one sounds like it could be like a musician or a magician or something like that. Fish Tank Barn, my kids rescued a domestic rabbit that was released. We've had almost 4 years now. Yeah. We've had rabbits too. Domestic rabbits, rabbit pets. They are adorable. They're a lot of fun. They poop everywhere if you let them run around. But yeah, the last rabbit, we had some tragedy with that rabbit. It got sick and it died. But, that was kind of hard on all of us. We all get so attached to our pets. And when something like that happens, we just become like little babies. So We have not gotten another rabbit as a pet since then, but little girls taking rabbits, gotta love that. That is a beautiful thing. Now, let me see here. Everybody making fun of me for the rabbit. I want to see if I can get back to any that might be longer ones here. So we'll go back here. Let's see. David Millhouse. If there's anybody before David Millhouse that put up a comment, if I don't get it, just put it again down below and I'll get it. I don't want to go all the way back because that would just be crazy. John, you and Lisa, I have learned so much from you guys about our hobby. We're here for you. Even bought a KG Tropicals t-shirt. Well, how about that? That is awesome. I really want to do something more with the t-shirts, and if it was up to me, I would spend the money and I would get some real shirts made up. Teespring is great. We can do whatever we want to there. I question the quality a little bit. I know I shouldn't be saying that because I want people to buy the shirts, but it's not that they don't look good. They do look really good. I question the longevity of them. I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but I'd love to get my own shirts made up, but in order to get good prices on them, you've got to order so many, and it's a challenge. But I'd love to do a thing with the Let's Keep Fish Keepers fish keeping thing. I'd love to take the thumbnail from my Beta Tank Mates video and put that on a shirt because wow, that is gorgeous. I wouldn't have the Tank Mates on there, but look at that thumbnail in the channel. It's gorgeous. I would love to put that on a shirt, but we'll see. But thank you for buying the shirt, and thank you for the wonderful things that you said. Angelfish Haven, wish I could have stepped my racks in my breeding room. I can't get the fry jars into the lower tanks like I thought I could without a lot of effort. Yeah, see, that's the thing. Not only is it easier for maintenance, and also if you're a breeder, which I know you are, and you're constantly moving fish around and stuff like that, it's easy to have that little step back there. It's a lot more work to configure it that way. If I was ever going to start a store again, I would do them all this way because it looks better and it's certainly easier to work on them. I guess the only problem would be if you go 3 tiers, the third one, the top row would be so far back, be needing to lean over to get to those top tanks. I don't know, that could be a little bit scary, but yeah, I love the design and I think you'll be impressed with it too. When you see it coming up next Tuesday. I'm already seeing the Austin Powers clips in my head with him and his wife. What's that from here? I know I've put that in here before, but in 10 Things videos before. New monthly subscriber here. I love your content. Keep up the great work. Clay Angli. I'm botching that name and I feel horrible for it. Welcome to the team. I promise, folks, I'm not just reading comments that people say nice things about me. It just, this is what happens when you do this. Depends on what it is. I like to make fun of you. Oh yeah, that was probably when I was getting ready to talk about my tragedy with the bunny. Thank you, Drew. You're always a real nice guy. I'm messing with you. And he's another all caps guy. What is it with you all caps people? I don't understand it. The all caps people make me crazy. Living the dream. I work at UPS. I drive during peak season, but load trailers during the rest of the year. Yeah. See a lot of UPS trucks driving around and FedEx trucks and all of this. And the amount of people, oh, never mind. I don't want to scare a UPSer. You know what's going on there. Okay, let's see. Dirty Bunny Killer. Yep. Thanks, Drew. Love you too. April Fool's joke, I hope. If you're talking about my rabbit story, that is not an April Fool's joke. No, it's not. I don't do April Fool's jokes. However, there was a good one this morning that Lisa came down here because I always get up like 2 hours before she does. She comes down with her phone and shows me an article on like Virginia.gov or something. My goatee is out of control today. And it was the governor announces that students will have to repeat the school year next year. And we have a senior that already has a scholarship to college. It's supposed to be going there in August. And she has to redo the year. But if you click on the link, it says April Fool's, ha ha ha. So I was like, because that would have been rough for her. I mean, anyway, let's see. Poor bunny. Yeah. Meanwhile, the mama bunny made 90 more baby bunnies. Yeah, probably did. I don't know. She's probably got 7 or 8 nests all around, and she's going through servicing all of those babies. Been there, done that. Last year, we found 4 baby bunnies that a cat ate their heads off and left their bodies. Why do cats do that? Why do they eat the head and nothing else? I don't understand that. The body is what has all of the meat in it. I've never eaten rabbit. I know a lot of rednecks that have, but I've never eaten rabbit, nor will I eat rabbit. I won't eat rabbit. I won't eat duck. I don't know why. I can't explain it. I will not eat frog legs. I'm a straight up like beef, chicken, pork guy. I don't even eat fish. And that's not because I love fish. I don't like the taste of seafood. So yeah, very limited as to what I actually eat. Fortunately, Lisa's the exact same way I am. So I don't have to worry about that. But that is that's anyway. Why do cats eat the rabbits' heads? It's weird. I'd love for that to be explained to me. I used to breed Holland Lops. It's rough when you lose one. I mean, it's one thing to lose one. If I found a dead rabbit in my yard, I would have been heartbroken. But to know I'm the one that killed it and it died in my hands, I saw it take its last breath and it's my fault, that was brutal. I don't want to talk about it anymore. We had an in-ground pool growing up and would always find baby bunnies in our pool. Some alive, but most found dead. Yeah, that's unfortunate. And I used to have a pool, an in-ground pool, years and years and years ago. And I had a golden retriever. And the golden retriever would never harm rabbits or squirrels or anything like that. But she would chase them, and they would end up in the pool too. And I had to check the skimmer every day because there'd be small rodents, small squirrels, chipmunks, and baby rabbits. Not as many rabbits there because it was a more densely populated area, but a lot of chipmunks and a lot of moles and a lot of baby squirrels I pulled out of the skimmer. And it was because the golden retriever she just wanted to play with them. She would chase them and they would fall in the water and there they went. Lisa for president. Go Lisa. I had an awful incident with a bunny nest and my riding lawnmower. None survived, unfortunately. It was terrible. Yeah, that's a story I've heard too many times. And you know what? The same thing, I would say the same thing to anybody who has had that before, that I said to myself and Lisa said to me, and everybody that I've talked to about this has said to me. It's not like I stomped on that nest on purpose. I didn't realize there were rabbits in there. They do a very good job of concealing where they are. And I stepped on it not knowing that there were rabbits there. If I knew there were rabbits there, I would have gone, oh, look how cute they are. And I would have never stepped on it. So, and yours is the same way. You're cutting the grass, you're doing your job, and you run it over. It's terrible. And I am terrified of doing that because my lawn is very clumpy, particularly this time of year. Clumps of beautiful grass and then weeds everywhere else. And so these clumps of grass, they're ideal. If it gets a little bit too long, they're ideal for rabbits to nest in. And so this is going to be a problem for, I don't think Lisa's going to walk around with me every single time I cut the grass. That would be cool, but I don't think she's going to. And so I'm going to have to keep my eyes out. Mama, whoop, skipped on me. Yay, YouTube, love it. There we go. See, I lost it. Here we go. Mama bunnies usually only come back to the nest twice a day. She probably moved them. That's what our hope is. For 2 days, they were not moved. We have not seen the mother rabbit. Don't know if she's been back or not. We see rabbits all the time, but it's not like, hey, are you are these your babies over here? So I don't know which one is which, but hopefully they're gone now. So hopefully she took them somewhere else so that jerks like me won't step on them. Love my flying foxes. Oh, those are cute. Highly recommend green dragon bristlenose. Awesome looking and very cool. See, there you go. See, this is a beautiful community here. We help each other out. Riley, is it Riles or Riley's? Reacts with $1 and a retracted message. It's like, I wanted to say something, but I decided, nope, I don't want to say it anymore. You have an Oscar on your avatar, so I would have loved to have responded to whatever it was that you put in there. Maybe it was bad. I don't know. I have some good friends who make t-shirts, great soft quality too, and cheap. That's awesome. I hear that a lot though. A lot of people say, but the thing is, I would want to buy them in big numbers so that I can sell them for cheaper. That's the thing. If you have somebody that you see they're selling their own shirts and they're really expensive, it's probably because they only ordered maybe 100 of them and they're like $18 a piece. So they're, not really making much money on them. It's not that I want to make a ton of money. I'm not thinking I would ever get rich selling t-shirts, but I would want to be able to sell them at a good price and actually make it worth my while to do. And in order to do that, you got to buy them in pretty good size numbers. I think Corey was telling me, and this is impressive, folks. I don't think he's bragged about this, but I'm going to brag about it for him. Those 2 years where he was giving out t-shirts at the Aquatic Experience, I'm pretty sure the number that he said was 5,000 shirts. I'm not saying he gave that many away, but he bought that many and gave them away for free to anybody who wanted them. I've even got a couple of them. And that's impressive that he would have done that. I can't even, or maybe he spent $5,000 on the shirts. The number 5,000 comes to mind. And when you look at it, anybody that was there that saw those boxes stacked on top of boxes, which were on top of other boxes full of t-shirts, that man bought a lot of shirts. And that's the way you have to do it to get good rates on them. Print on demand shirts tend to not last very long. They could fade within a year. That's what I'm saying. And I think that that's what happens with Teespring. When you get them, they look really good and they probably look good for a few months. But if you are somebody that's washing it once a week and wearing it once a week, might not last you very long. And that's a shame. I don't want you spending your good money on something that isn't going to last for a long time. I've got, I'm not doing an advertisement for Aquarium Co-op, but Corey's my friend. I've got an Aquarium Co-op shirt that I got from Corey in, I think, 2016. I actually wore it yesterday, and it still looks like it's brand new. And I wear it probably once every 2 weeks, so it still looks brand new. And now I'm not going out and cutting weeds and, pulling down trees and stuff wearing this shirt, but it's still in really good shape, and washing it, it's probably been washed 50 times and it's not faded at all. The logo and everything on it still looks absolutely perfect. So that's what I want to sell to people. But the biggest thing, I've got 2 logos that I use. One of them is on the thumbnail for this live stream, the Tank Talk logo, which was created by Brian Carlisle. Absolutely beautiful. Love it. It's the fish talking on a microphone that was originally made for my podcast. And it has since become the kind of mascot for this. In fact, oh no, he's over there. But I've got a plaque that Paul Martin got made for me of that logo. There's like 7 colors in that logo. And so I got to get the camera focused in. It's all based on colors. When you're going to get shirts made at a print shop, it's all based on colors. The more colors you have, the more expensive it is, because the more, what are they called? The screens, the more screens they have to make. And my other logo, the circle with the 2 fish swimming in a circle, that's kind of like a 3D image. And so that is really expensive too. I messed up on the logos. They're both beautiful logos, but to get those on shirts that are actual screen printed, it takes a lot of screens and they're very expensive. So it's unfortunate. Why am I talking about shirts so much? The River Life, I was just talking about him, became a member. He was a member at a different level before and has decided to come back at the $5 level. I absolutely love it. Thank you, Rack. I get a lot of people coming in where I work, a big box pet store, wanting common plecos. What's the minimum tank size for them? I'd love to not see them in anything smaller than 6 feet. And I think that they should be in bigger than 6 feet. They are slow growers, though. I don't care what anybody says. They're like arowanas and Oscars that are just going to explode. Depending on how your tank is and how much you feed them, a lot of people don't feed plecos. They just expect them to go around and find their own foods. If you're not feeding them and you're just letting them figure it out, then they're going to grow super slow. But they're not fast growers anyway. So if you put them in something 4 feet and you're going to have them in there 6 months, maybe a year, I think you'd be all right. But I'd really not like to see them in anything smaller than 6 feet. And even that is probably too small. Clawed frogs will eat everything is what Rack says. I told you he is the guy to ask about frogs. Varshal MVH Pets. Welcome to the team, my friend. Glad to have you along with us. Somebody talking to Candy. What are your rules if keeping piranhas? I've kept piranhas. I broke the law back in 1994. Piranhas. Is that one of those fish that the plural for piranha is piranha? I don't know. But they are illegal in Virginia, and they've been illegal in Virginia as long as I've been keeping fish. But I had to get them, right? Back in 1994. Now there's another fish, which I pronounce it Budicofri. It's a Madagascar cichlid, one of the most gorgeous cichlids in the world. I love that fish still to this day. They get very big. They're extraordinarily aggressive. I don't think are anymore, but they were also illegal back then. At least that's what I heard. I went to a pet store. I don't even remember what it was. 1994 in Maryland, and bought piranha and a Budicofri. I put the Budicofri with my Oscar at the time, and they did great. They were best friends. The piranha, I bought 4 of them, and I put them in a tank by themselves, and they were the most boring fish I've ever kept. They just sat there. They did nothing. I will admit, I bought them back then for the cool factor, the wow factor. I wanted people to come over, and I wanted to be like, yeah, look, I got piranha. I think that's why a lot of people buy them, not because they're beautiful fish. Let's face it, the piranha is not a head-turning, beautiful fish. It's a piranha. Their teeth are really cool to look at. You have them for the novelty of it. But I've seen them with I've seen them with tank mates before. I don't think they are as aggressive as people say they are. But then again, what do I know? I mean, I live in a state where I can't even buy them legally. But I know the more you have, that school mentality, that mob mentality takes over, and they definitely will just assault anything else that's in there. I didn't put anything in there with them, though. I just put them in there by themselves, and they just kind of sat there, and they were boring, and I gave them away to a friend because they just didn't do it for me. But thank you for the $10. And I'm assuming you meant like my rules. What are your rules if keeping piranhas? I'm assuming you weren't asking like the legal side of it. But there you go. I don't have a whole lot of experience with them because they are illegal here. I would probably just get pacu before I would piranhas because they're more active in my experience than piranhas. They look almost identical without the teeth. They have like real human teeth though, which is really cool. I don't know. Pacus get really big though, so there you go. Do you have any recommendations for places I can buy and get some white clouds and neon tetras shipped? It would be a shame. I mean, I know white clouds are more difficult to find in some places than neons, but I mean, neons are everywhere. Every fish store has neon tetras. I realize, they're probably all closed to the public right now, but you know what? I don't have any recommendations. Now, there might be some websites that will sell like the longfin variety of White Clouds because they are more expensive. The thing is, with Neon Tetras, probably the only place you're going to find them online would be like, what's that place? Come on. Why am I drawing a play? I mean, there's the Wet Spot, and then there's Foster and Smith, liveaquaria.com. That's almost like, when it comes to fish, that's almost like an online PetSmart. They have the same fish that they would have at PetSmart. You might be able to find them there, but the problem is most online retailers aren't going to want to sell neons because they're a dime a dozen and you can't make any money. You know, if somebody orders, let's say 10 neon tetras and then some fish food and stuff like that, and they end up getting free shipping, you're losing your ass on that. So I wouldn't expect a lot of people are going to be selling fish that are that cheap. I would check those two though, Wet Spot and Live Aquaria. If there are any out there that sell those fish, that's probably them. Because cats are sneaky, entitled creatures, aren't they? I fell down a rabbit hole the day of the bunny incident, feeling bad about myself, feeling like a murderer. I ran across a thumbnail on YouTube, like you do, and it was a hungry stray cat next to a dumpster. And it's basically a channel that it's Lisa's dream channel. It's just people that rescue cats from all over, and they pick them out of the wild, basically, and they bring them in and they clean them up, and then they find homes for them. It's a beautiful thing. And they have a bunch of videos on their channel of them doing just that. And it was an adorable thing to watch. It made me feel a little bit better about myself being as horrible of a person as I was that day. Of course, the chat skipped again, and I don't want to miss anybody. Okay, here we go. Any other King George or Fredericksburg VA fish keepers on? Yeah, me. That's me. I don't know. There's one guy that is a friend of mine, a personal friend of mine. His name on YouTube is Bugman, Bugman. He works in termite and pest control. His family actually owns the termite and pest company here in King George. Good friend of mine. I just talked to him the other day. Sometimes he pops into the streams, but he's probably working today. So I don't know. I don't know that he would be in here. Okay. See, this is why I don't do the chat, because I don't like seeing other streamers do what I'm doing right now. Gator is delicious. Gross. No. Nope. That's not for me. Like I said, chicken, pork, beef. And I'm struggling, to be honest with you. I'm struggling with that right now. I'm having one of those moments where I'm struggling with being a carnivore. I go through my spells, and I've gone through years of being vegetarian because I struggle with that. And it's just a personal thing for me. So, but a gator, no, there's nothing appealing about that to me. People that eat snakes, people that eat alligators, just weird things. Why do that? It's gross. No, I'm not interested in it. I don't care if Gordon Ramsay cooked it. I'm not interested. Could you just cook me a hamburger, Gordon Ramsay? I've watched you on YouTube. I've watched you on Hell's Kitchen. I've watched you everywhere cook hamburgers, and they look like the most magnificent hamburgers I've ever seen in my life. Can you just make me one of those? I don't want your alligator. I don't want your reptiles or your squid. No. Anyway, sorry. I entered another dimension there. Cats eat the heads because it tastes best to them. It's their favorite part, and they'll do that if they have more around they expect to catch. See, I did not know that, but that makes it almost even more disturbing, because it's like, that's the best tasting part? Ooh. We all know this now. Lisa and I have cats here. I love cats. I adore them, but cats are savages when they're in the wild. They will annihilate anything. But it just seems so savage to just eat the head and nothing else. I don't know. Fried shark tastes like pork chops. Then eat pork chops. You see what I'm saying? You hear that all the time. Oh, I love frog legs. They taste just like chicken. Well, then I'll eat chicken. I'm not going to eat a nasty thing that's been in the mud. I know chickens are nasty too, but no, a frog, if it tastes like chicken, eat chicken. I don't get it. Wow. Where is this stream going? This is fun. Doing this differently than I usually try to show up with a theme and with an idea and with something to talk about. Just going free form like this is fun. I can see why so many people do it. A well-fed cat will just eat the head because it's the delicacy. And because their strong prey drive, they hunt. But if they were well-fed, they don't need the meat. It's true. And unless it's like the country, like I always talk about living in the country. I live in King George, Virginia, it is country. It's a rural area for the most part. There are neighborhoods. I live in a neighborhood that is, if you've ever seen any of the videos outside of my house, you see the houses are, right on top of each other. And anywhere you see neighborhoods like this, there's always going to be people like Lisa that are putting food out on the porch. But then you also see that country house that's on like 30 acres and you see 75 cats walking around that household. And those are people that are obviously feeding the cats too. But you see a lot of that here. My parents had an NYE dinner party 1 year serving goose. NYE. Okay. Filled a 5 gallon. Oh, bucket with grease. I was a little kid at the time. It was a lot. Let's get him. Okay. Ooh. I'm glad I had a hard time reading that because that just sounded disturbing. Oh, I'm not going to read any more Drew's comments because he's just a mean person. He could kick my butt like that though, so I can't be too mean to him. My dad's neighbor was showing off his new lawnmower to my dad a couple of years ago. He told my dad to give it a test, and we all heard the ka-chunk. Oh, the cell phone. That's a better story than I thought it was going to be. That's a much better story because I thought it was going to be an animal. Thought it was going to be one of those. The guy was wheeling it around and having fun, and boom, blew up a squirrel's nest or a bunny nest. Henry Chavez with the Mexican $50, 50 pesos, 50, whatever that is. What about screen printing? That lasts forever, but you'd have to use limited colors. Yeah, see, that's what I was talking about before. My logo, the Tank Talk logo, the one that's on the thumbnail of this stream, has, I think, 7 colors in it. And so they'd have to make a bunch of screens. I actually had a close screen printer. He was in the shop next to mine when I had my shop. Not the fish store, but when I had my cabinet shop, his name was Donnie, good friend of mine. And I would go over every day and I would watch him screen printing. If you've ever seen it, it's like this big giant carousel that has all of the different screens on it. And you put the screen down, hit the ink, pick it up, slide it over, put a new one on. And, if you have to make 7 screens for each individual color, that's a lot of work. It's a lot of expense, and the shirts are very expensive. So screen printing is the best way to go. I do agree. Actually, embroidery would probably be the best way to go. But you want to talk about a lot of money. It is what it is. Yeah, I work at PetSmart, and we are no longer getting shipments of fish aside from feeders. Well, that's unfortunate because that's what you don't want there is the feeders. Come on. You should no, I'm not going to say that word. Pet stores are considered essential services around here, Atlantic Canada, since they sell pet food for allergies, etc., considering essential groceries. Yeah, they're that way here too. But I don't know. I don't know if fish stores would be open. And I'm just not willing to drive an hour and a half to find out. I suppose I could call them, but I don't need to go there. I don't need to go to a pet store right now. Lisa and I were talking last night about what we're going to do because we're going to be able to add a few tanks with this new racks that I built. And we were talking about, we could get fish, we could do this. And she's like, I don't need fish. We've got so many fish spread out in so many different tanks. We don't need to go get fish. We've got a fish store right here. So I don't know if they're closed around here. It doesn't really matter to me. Flights being canceled that would make sense, Candy. Let me read the whole thing because I just committed a cardinal sin of streaming. A lot of places aren't getting a lot of fish shipments due to flights being canceled. Makes total sense. Even Amazon is not guaranteeing 2 day. They're saying a month or whatever. I mean, hey, talk about apocalypse. Yeah, I doubt there is much of anything coming in on the livestock side, particularly as shipping is bound to be way down. Yeah. That's why it's good to have multiple tanks and multiple different types of fish that you can just spread around and you don't have to worry about it. Melissa Jeswald, plug for extreme beta food. Mine loves it. Corey also makes a nano food in the bottle that the guppies love too. Yes, we have a can. I'm looking at it right now of the beta food. We have not found a beta food, a beta that will not accept that food very quickly, very willingly. In fact, let me show you something because I don't think I showed this before. It's really adorable. This is something that I found out that Corey actually had something to do with. This is the can of the beta pellets, the extreme beta pellets. They sent us this like right before Corey got here, which was cool because then when he got here, I was like, hey, do you have these yet? And he was like, yeah, I kind of helped them put that together. But this is the cool thing about it. It comes with a little spoon. It comes with a little spoon for it. So you scoop up a spoonful of the food. It's not going to focus. You give that to your beta, pour that in there. Now you know exactly how much to feed to your beta. It's beautiful. And I don't know what it says on here because I don't have very good lights down here. I don't know what this says, but very cool. And according to Corey, it was very difficult for them to find these spoons to put in all of these containers, but that is so neat. And it just slides right down in here. You close it up, you're good to go. Love that. I think that's awesome because that is probably the number one question in all of fish keeping, whether it's beta keeping or anything else. How much do I feed them? Well, there you go. There's your answer. One scoop. There it is. So very, very cool. Super excited to have them as a sponsor of this channel. If Gordon cooked you gator burger, you would love it. All right. So here's the thing. Going back to that. If Gordon Ramsay showed up to my house and he was like, I'm going to cook you the most amazing gator burger, I would eat it. Because when are you going to have the opportunity to have something cooked by Gordon Ramsay? Love that guy. He is one of my absolute heroes. I don't cook. I cook macaroni and cheese and microwave pizzas or frozen pizzas. I mean, I would cook, but I don't have to because I've got a chef that lives in the house and she loves to cook and she does all of that. But I do enjoy cooking. I can sit here and watch Gordon Ramsay videos all day long and hear him say amazing, the most beautiful, just hear him say all of that. And I love the old videos of him, when he was just getting started and he's a lot younger and he's just beating the crap out of everybody that worked for him. I like that kind of a boss that just won't take any crap from anybody, just puts them in their place, do the job or get out. I don't know. I like that kind of thing. I would still struggle to eat an alligator because ew. I mean, if it was like The Walking Dead and all there was alligators, all right, that's fine. But I'd probably just eat tomatoes and cucumbers and peppers and I just wouldn't even worry about meat. But anyway, skipped again. Of course it did. So John, Impossible Burger or Beyond Burger, we managed to deceive our super taster older son with a Beyond Burger. Let's see. I haven't tried either one of them, but I don't oppose trying them. If I was to try one of those now, I would do it for like dietary purposes, like because it's healthier than a meat burger, but it's not. It's got the same amount of calories and everything else as a beef burger does. So there's no reason to try it for me now. But when I have been vegetarian, I would have tried something like that. And I'm sure it's good. I'm sure it's delicious, but I haven't tried them yet. I live 2 miles from Burger King and I haven't been over there to try them yet. So the only time I tried frog legs, it looked like chicken, but tasted like river fish. Oh, see, no. I don't like the taste of fish, and I don't like gamey taste. People are like, oh, I'll cook venison and you'll love it. I won't. I won't. I mean, again, if it were the apocalypse, I would eat it, but I don't like that gamey taste. That's not into it. I don't want to eat pheasant. I don't want to eat wild turkey. No, just, why can't I just have regular stuff? Chicken. And I forgot to mention turkey. We only eat turkey twice a year, unless it's deli meat. I'm not into the exotic stuff. That's not my thing. I can't even watch that show. People have told me I look like the guy on the show, Strange Foods or whatever it's called. It doesn't interest me at all. On the shark, not that I agree with eating a shark, but it was a restaurant and it was pleasantly surprising. Just don't think I could do it again. Yeah, see, no, here we go. So sorry, John. I'm too wordy usually. I guess I went too far. No, it's fine. Yeah, anyway. Had some customers come in the other day and get a blackmore and a fancy tail goldfish to put in a 1-gallon tank. Told them the fish would absolutely die. They didn't care. Made me pretty angry. You know, that is an unfortunate thing about, I think, the policies at some of the big box stores. I think that could be wrong, but I don't think they're allowed to refuse to sell a fish to somebody. I think they kind of have to. And that's a shame, because something like that, people shouldn't do it. It just is what it is. I don't know. Okay, let's get through some more of these, and then we're going to go ahead and shut things down here. This has been a lot of fun. But when it's just me, I can't go on for 2 hours, on and on and on and on and on. It's not, y'all don't want to hear my voice. I wish I had Lisa here with me, but this is kind of a it's not really spur of the moment. I was thinking about doing it last night. I was actually supposed to be on a live stream last night with Jay Wilson on Instagram, and the world was crashing down. It was too much. So I wasn't able to get out of what I was doing, and it just didn't work out. But we're going to do that next week. That's going to be a lot of fun. Jay Wilson's a whole lot of fun. Technically, we can refuse sale, but we're heavily discouraged too. Yeah, I mean, you know what? Those big box stores got to make money, and I don't like that. Welcome to fish keeping. There's always going to be people that are keeping fish in containers that they shouldn't be kept in, just like there's people that are keeping dogs that they shouldn't keep. There's people that have you watched Tiger King? I mean, there are people that have animals that they should not have, and there's nothing we can do about it, unfortunately. So let's talk about Tiger King here for a minute. If you are listening, if you are contemplating watching that show, I'm not going to spoil anything for anybody. That show was amazing. There is a reason why it is number 1 on Netflix right now. If you have not watched that, what are you doing? You got time. You're sitting here watching there's 315, some weirdo in his basement talk about fish and talk about killing bunnies. You got the time. You can watch it. Tiger King. It is, I think, 7 or 8 episodes. It's an amazing, amazing show. I was a little bit leery. I am going to spoil one thing, but it's a good spoiler, because Lisa did what you're not supposed to do when you're watching a show like that. She Googled it, and she was kind of protecting us because she wanted to make sure there wasn't going to be any things that we did not want to see. That show, Don't F with Cats on Netflix, messed me up. And they didn't even show anything. So she wanted to find out if there was anything even close to severe abuse of these animals. And I will tell you, there is not. There are some scenes in that series that upset Lisa. They did not upset me because whatever, it doesn't matter. I do not like seeing animals get abused. I don't like seeing animals get hurt. I don't even like seeing animals get scared. There's nothing in that series that upset me of any great level. I would rather, if you've seen the trailer, you know that there is a female employee at the zoo that gets her arm bitten off. I'm not spoiling anything there. I could watch that all day long before I could watch one tiger get killed or get abused or something like that. So, but I am overly sensitive to that. I think Lisa might be just a fraction more sensitive than I am, particularly when it comes to cats. So she actually didn't watch like the last 3 or 4 episodes because she thought there was going to be something in there, and there was not. It only takes one Google search of Joe Exotic, which the whole show is about. It'll list for you the things that he's been accused of. And one of those things, I'm again trying not to spoil anything. One of those things is something that Lisa just could not tolerate, and she was afraid that they were going to show it, and they didn't. And I was very glad that they didn't. But amazing show. And it almost seems like impossible to be true. I mean, because it's just so outrageous. If you haven't seen it yet, you must see it. It's an incredible show. And again, hard to believe that it's even real. Another one is, I think it's an HBO. In fact, I know it's HBO documentary. If you haven't watched it yet, The Outsider, incredible. I do not have HBO. We have Dish Network, which I only have it for baseball and hockey. That's the only reason why I have Dish Network. We don't subscribe to HBO through Dish Network, but I have the HBO Go online. And so I watched The Outsider, incredible, absolutely worthy of checking out. And also the documentary, McMillions is on HBO. If you haven't watched that, it is another brain exploding documentary. You wouldn't think that it would be. It's about the Monopoly game at McDonald's. How could that be entertaining? Believe me, it is. It is incredible. The ups and downs and twists and turns that thing takes. Unbelievable. Definitely worthy of watching. And what else? What else was I going to recommend? And The Outsider. The Outsider is really good. It's impossible to talk about The Outsider without getting into spoilers, so I won't do that. So if you have HBO, check those out for sure. And then check out The Tiger King on Netflix. If you want a good laugh, the most recent Joe Coy stand-up, the thumbnail says big, huge letters on the stage, Joe Coy. If you're not familiar with Joe Coy, he is awesome. Check that out. I watched the most recent Russell Peters stand-up. I watched my favorite Tom Segura. He's got a new stand-up routine. It's called Ball Hog. I actually saw that live, not at that show where the Netflix was, but my sister took me for my birthday last year when Segura was doing that routine on tour. So I got to actually see that live. It was cool to watch it on Netflix. And I'm like, oh, I saw him do all of these jokes. It was pretty cool. So those are some really cool things to watch right now while you're killing time. And of course, the entire KG Tropicals 550 video catalog that we have on our channel is worthy of watching too. And of course, all the other YouTubers. There's plenty of stuff to do. YouTube is actually down right now. I don't mean down like it's not available. Obviously, you're watching on here. Yes, Bert Kreischer's new series, definitely good too. Not as good as The Machine, but good. Or let's see, he did The Machine and then he did something stories. It's not mostly stories because I think that's Segura. Story Time is maybe what it's called. I don't know. All of Bert Kreischer, I love very much. Love that guy. But anyway, I'm actually on Ozarks right now. If I was to show you my iMac, Ozark is on there right now. Love Jason Bateman. One thing I do want to say, if you are not a subscriber to HBO and you decide you want to be a subscriber to watch The Outsider because you are a big fan of Jason Bateman like I am, because the trailer shows him all over the place, don't buy it because you're a Jason Bateman fan. You'll be disappointed. That's all I'm going to say. Anyway, I just ruined it, didn't I? But what was I talking about? YouTube it seems like everybody's watching Netflix and Hulu and Amazon and HBO and Disney Plus, and they're not really watching YouTube anymore. Views are down, subscribers are down, everything's down. It sucks. So go through, if you are a real fish keeper, I'm fine. Don't worry about me. Go watch all of the other channels. Go watch Fishy Biz is in here. Even though he's mean to me, go watch him. Go watch The River Life. Go watch all these other people's channels, and let's get them as many views as we can. Since you're looking for things to do, there you go. That's the way to do it. So, all right, let me thank these last couple people here real quick, and then we will get moving. It's not Per. Is it? I don't know how to say that name. And I'm going to say Johansson, because we had a Swedish player on the Capitals, Marcus Johansson. So I'm going to assume yours is pronounced Johansson. Maybe it's Johansson. I don't know. But thank you for some entertainment on a day off. Stay safe. Thank you so much. I am glad you enjoyed it. It's been fun hanging out. Road King Jr. became a member. I always fantasized about buying a Road King, but now I'm too scared to ride motorcycles anymore. So I won't be getting a Road King. Butch Gorski with the $10, nothing attached to it. Again, that could have been 2 months membership right there. I appreciate it very much, but you could have got all kinds of inside information for 2 months. But thank you so much anyway. Thank you to everybody that participated here today. This was a lot of fun. My throat is a wreck now because I've talked nonstop for an hour and 15 minutes, but this has been fun. I really wanted to have an opportunity for some of my followers that are overseas that don't get to see us do Tank Talk live, which we will be doing tomorrow night, 9 o'clock, because it's the middle of the night for them. So I thought doing a stream midday would be fun and give people a chance that don't usually get to see us live, get to see this live. So had a lot of fun with it. Thank you all so much for hanging out, and we'll see you tomorrow night. And I will have Lisa with me tomorrow night. Don't know what the topic is yet. Members, put a comment on here when it goes back on replay, and give me some ideas of what we could talk about tomorrow night, because this was fun doing this, but I would rather come into it with a plan, because I do a lot better when I have a plan in place. So anyway, thank you so much, and I will see you tomorrow night, 9 p.m.